Hey, this show is presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/dangle to receive 20% off your next purchase, and
free shipping.
The shipping is free.
Is that?
I think that's the French way to pronounce it.
I think the public school system failed you.
The Steve Dangle Podcast, powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Okay, so we're starting the show off today in a spot we really didn't expect. But just before the show started today, Jake Muzzin is out indefinitely. This is according to Leafs PR. And this is real Leafs PR, not Twitter Blue Leafs PR, due to a cervical spine injury. His status will be evaluated in late February. So that's 3.5 months from now. TJ Brodie has been placed on injury reserve with an oblique injury, which is not terribly serious, but enough that he's going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm not overly worried about it. Tavares has recovered from his just fine. They're not all the same, but you know.
Mac Hollowell and Pontus Holmberg have been called up from the Marlies. Now let's talk about a cervical spine injury. I Googled it.
Oh, well, this is the definitive. Here's what it is. All right.
Cervical.
That's really funny.
Well, this is from the Shepherd Center.
Hey, medical students, pipe down. Adam's got it.
Well, I'm just telling you what Google tells me, and it's not like...
No, I know.
That's giving me medical advice.
That's
it's just
the be-all, end-all. No, how do you fix it?
Cervical spinal cord injuries. This will not tell you how to fix it. Cervical spinal cord injuries often involve permanent, complete, or partial loss of sensory function and many associated complications. As is the case with all injuries of the spinal cord, injuries located higher on the spine will be more severe, with high cervical spinal cord injury often being fatal. So now, hold on.
I regret that you did that.
It's covering a wide berth. Clearly, we're not talking about something that's near fatal.
Yeah.
But often involve permanent or complete partial loss of sensory function is pretty fucking serious.
Yes.
And you have to think that this is serious enough that they're not even going to look at it for another 3.5 months.
Well, they're going to reevaluate. Yeah.
The rumor that's been bubbling amongst the writers who are in the know and the people who cover the team on day to day is that Muzzin's most likely done for the season because they've been hearing about like what he's been injured with, and now it's come out, and that he probably is not going to play this year. So hearing that he has this injury, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a shame, and I don't even know what the recovery is or what the path forward is. The first thing I thought of was what Jack Eichel did with the disc replacement, but I don't even know if that's what needs fixing. So I wish him the best of luck.
Mm-hmm. Great player
in his recovery. It'd be great if he came back, but if you're the Leafs, you just got to sort of go, okay, what's the path forward now?
Right. Exactly.
What's the path forward? So you got to figure it out. And let's bring up a term that I've used in the past, the buoy. The buoy. Buoy. It's the worst word in the English language.
It is.
B-U-O-Y.
Yeah. That in the word key, which is spelled Q-U-A-Y.
Queen's Quay.
That's right.
Yeah. No one. Anyway. Martin Marincin used to be the buoy. And Martin Marincin is a better defenseman than Mac Hollowell. The Leafs are...
Oh, shit. Are you sure?
I would trust Martin Marincin in certain situations at the NHL level. Mac Hollowell, bless him.
He's not ready.
He's also 26.
He's probably never going to be.
I just don't know.
Mac Hollowell is 26?
I think so.
Yeah, he's been on the Marlies forever.
He might be younger than that. Might be 25, 24.
Holy shit, he's 24.
There you go. Okay, he's 24.
Damn, we've been
26 is pretty different.
We've been doing this a long time sometimes. I forget that he was drafted a long time ago in 2018.
You know, the Ottawa Senators placed Nikita Zaitsev on waivers 4 days ago, and the Leafs had the opportunity to just claim
reunion.
Well, okay. Speaking of buoy,
it's not that.
No.
So,
but just the reason he gets the call is they have no options on the right.
Before we move on to what they could probably fill in, where the options where they should come from, I think the point needs to be emphasized that it was a failure on Dubas's part to not listen to CJ and move off of Jake Muzzin come June when the path was all there for this instance to happen. And that contract is something that that contract space is something they could have really used in the summer. And now we see all of the tertiary signings that they tried to do with all these entry-level deals and $1 million contracts they handed out that didn't work, and that if you just moved off of Muzzin earlier, you could have solved a lot of the Leafs' issues.
Yeah.
So,
including in net.
So
there is a cascading effect there, I think, Jesse. I think you are correct, because part of what they wanted to do was give this another ride. And are you making a trade for Matt Murray if you're not sort of hamstrung by other contracts on the lineup? And I think, no disrespect to Jake Muzzin the person, but you had a pretty serious resume of injuries there that were piling up. And they said he started training camp with a back injury, so they knew that this existed. And then, of course, it gets aggravated in like his first game or second game or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the back, though. It's his neck.
Well, I know, but that's what they said. They said it was a back injury.
He was.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure that's how they
was
started
on the
training
mend kind of all summer.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
I just...
Well, here's what I'm looking at, right? Because, listen, we've been critical of the Leafs for that lack of trade, and I don't regret that. I think it is perfectly valid. Here's what I'm going to throw out there. The Predators made a somewhat similar deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning sent Ryan McDonough to the Predators for Philippe Myers, who was with the Marlies, actually, and Grant Mismash. So that's his name. Read it. I know. Philippe Myers made over $2.5 million. Mismash, former second-round pick from 2017, but
didn't pan out quite the way they thought.
No. So essentially, the Lightning get nothing.
Yeah.
They do get Philippe Myers. I think they extended him and gave him a pay cut.
But cap space is what you're looking for.
They got very little. And my guess is the Leafs would have gotten even less. And by even less, I mean they would have had to get rid of Jake Muzzin. They would have had to pay to get rid of Jake Muzzin.
So I suppose then the other benefit is, okay, now he's on LTIR and you can make moves. And the question that Chris Johnson wrote, and unfortunately the CJ show was recorded before all this news came out this morning.
Yeah.
But Chris put this out on Twitter, and he said, the question the Leafs will have is if Jake Muzzin is coming back for the playoffs. And
which would be awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Well, what if you're
No. If you're hold on.
Sure.
If you can make a move for a player that's healthy, or Jake Muzzin might come back and might be healthy for you, but probably not. Because the idea that Jake Muzzin is ever going to be fully healthy again, I don't know.
The thing about coming back for the playoffs is that you could do both because the cap doesn't count in the playoffs. So you could make the move throughout the regular season, have it, and you can just cheat it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
The worry is if he came back early, like if he wanted to come back in February, like he's going to be reevaluated, then you got cap trouble.
Well, then you say to him, Jake, you're not coming back.
Right. If you just delay it to the playoffs, then that's free win.
I guess.
That's free body.
Yeah, you go into the playoffs with Jake Muzzin as your seventh defenseman, potentially.
Yeah.
If there's an injury, then you bring him back. Yeah, that's pretty great.
But don't let this not stop you from making a deal. That would be an issue.
That's my fear here is that I think it's pretty clear, and we'll talk about goaltending in a bit, but it's pretty clear that they're going to have to do something at some point this year, as any team does. But I don't know that you can go through this year, as great as Jordy Ben was on Saturday, hoping that he's going to be able to fill the gap with,
You were gushing.
Oh man, he was amazing. We'll talk about it. But like Riley Brody, you got Liljegren and you've got Hall on the right side. It's not great. It's not bad.
And there's no Brody right now, which is why Mac Hollowell was called up. They don't have guys on the right.
Yeah. And the guys on the right are the hardest guys to get too.
Yeah, like they were playing Philip Kral there.
Right. And we've talked about this, when things went a little sideways, a little squirrely to start the season, the Leafs had a lot of finger crossing. Like, man, if all these guys stay healthy, we could be good. And they are very good. But there were a lot of fingers crossed. They are now down 2 goalies and 2 defensemen. And it's kind of looking a little bit like something has to happen here. Does it have to be a major move? No. But it does open the possibility with Muzzin's contract on LTIR, you could make one. That's the option that they didn't have when Vibecouver wasn't claimed, and they were right up against it in the cap.
The Leafs have, for as unlucky as the Leafs have been, they've also gotten extremely lucky. We talked about this before the show. Vibecouver claimed off waivers right before they needed it. Right before they would have had a U of T goalie backing up.
Well, imagine, Samsonov goes down and you still have Vibecouver's contract. There's nothing you can do.
Or a Matt Murray before he was ready.
Yeah.
Backing up, which is probably more detrimental to the health of the organization. They've done a lot of flying by the seat of their pants, and they've gotten lucky so far. I do think they need a move here.
Now, what do you think, if you are going to make a move, where's the focus? Is it, obviously it's got to be defense or goaltending or both, but if you were to focus on one, what's the more pressing need?
To get through the season, I think a true answer at left wing would be the answer.
You mean like a not Kerfoot and everybody else?
Well, not just this musical chairs bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
To get through the playoffs, this decor can't be the decor that you try to win a Stanley Cup with.
The left wing thing is so difficult because everybody wants to trade Kerfoot, and they've been trading him for a year now. But you can't move off of Kerfoot and just upgrade Kerfoot.
No,
that's not how
they
the trade
and they also
works.
didn't have the cap space to do it, right?
Yeah.
Now they do.
So the Leafs have some very interesting decisions to make because I think they're really gun shy about trading picks, and I don't see how they improve without doing that.
Well, they did get burned on picks on that Foligno deal, right?
Oh, so just never make one again.
Well,
you
it's
know what
enough
I mean?
to make
Like,
you gun shy, but you also traded for a guy with another bad back.
who's doing fine now, by the way.
Yeah, Foligno's been great.
Yeah. So they might have to mortgage parts of the future. Which
Does Dubas care? He won't be here. He's got to get that contract extension
but
done.
it's funny though, because he's such a process-oriented guy, and I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to do it if he doesn't see a great option out there.
Yeah, of course.
He doesn't see
of course.
Nobody
Nobody wants to dance right now, I don't think either.
Well, and everyone, the hottest phone in the greater Toronto area right now is Dubas's. And it's people calling him.
Yeah.
It's people calling him.
Hey, I got a proposal. Can I
No,
make it
well,
off?
the other one's the Canucks.
Well, that's not.
Are
in
well,
the
they're not in
GTA.
Toronto anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the
They flew.
GTA?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're in
I thought
Boston.
you meant
They went to
across the
Boston to
NHL.
lose there.
Yeah, but like, is there a dance partner there if the Canucks and Leafs are both reeling?
Yeah, JT Miller would be awfully nice in
Dude.
Toronto.
They don't.
No, not that.
Jeez. Well, yeah. So if you get JT Miller, you have to acquire like 3 defensemen to offset.
Mm-hmm.
But the Canucks don't really have.
There's nothing really.
They're not great on defense.
The only guy I'd be interested in, and the Canucks probably shouldn't part ways with this player, is Luke Schenn.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
Man,
Luke Schenn's
okay.
been great.
If we're going to transition a little bit to what happened on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
if we could start with Luke Schenn.
Man,
I want to start with Luke Schenn.
that guy does not like... Who is he beating the shit out of that one shift?
Everyone.
Mulligan?
Yeah.
There was he had 12 hits on the night, and he's less than 100 away from 3,000 in his career, which is bananas. But there was one player he must have got a quarter of those hits on in one shift.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Mulligan.
So I have to say, from being there, Luke Schenn, every shift, and you can show me the advanced numbers and I'll believe you, but maybe he's not that great. But every shift he's involved. Every shift he's fucking crushing guys.
When are guys eligible to be hit?
When they don't have the puck.
No,
sorry. When they do have the puck.
No, not Tom Wilson rules.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry.
yeah,
Sorry. I thought you meant the Luke Schenn way. Yeah, so
Yes.
Luke Schenn throws a lot of hits because he doesn't have the puck a lot.
Yes, so that is the downside of him. However, what we've seen at a lot of Leaf games this year is they don't have the puck and they're not hitting.
Right.
I would, if you're not going to have it, I would at least like you to beat the person up, please.
And I think you've got a lot of puck moving, good puck handling defensemen on the Leafs already when they're healthy. You know, like Riley, Brody, Liljegren, Sandin. Sandin was really good on Saturday. I want to say that Luke Schenn, what I liked about him was a lot of what I liked about Jordy Ben. And again, all the advanced stats people are just rolling their eyes. Like their eyes are probably falling out of their head at this point. But what I liked about Jordy Ben was every time he was on the ice, he was involved, he was hitting, and the Leafs do need a ton of puck movers. But if it's all puck movers, people can kind of, what's the Patrice O'Neill, the punk test?
The punk test.
They can punk test you, right? They can push you around, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. Jordy Ben started hitting people, and then I saw Timothy Liljegren hit some people, and I saw some of the forwards start to hit people. When one person does, it's a bit of a ball that kind of keeps rolling. And what I saw was a more physical Leafs team than I think I've seen in any other game other than Winnipeg.
That's another way that the Leafs got lucky, by the way, is they're missing TJ Brody now just after Timothy Liljegren got back.
Right.
You imagine you're down both those guys?
Devastating.
Yeah, you're in a world of hurt. So Dubas he's dodging bullets like Neo right now.
And it is frustrating because Jordy Ben, I have to say, he had a fucking phenomenal game. He was so good.
Game-winning goal.
35 years old. Like, what
is he?
Yes. He's the second oldest player ever to score in his debut game for a new team.
I love that.
Which is
so
a crazy
Who's the oldest?
Honestly, it might be Owen Nolan, also with the Leafs.
Leafs PR.
Owen Nolan.
He was pretty old. He scored 2 goals in his Leaf debut.
It was actually Patrick. Oldest player to score in the Leafs debut. Excuse me. Patrick Marleau is the oldest.
That makes sense.
He scored in his first game. Jordy Ben, Floyd Smith in 68, and Alexander McGillney, October 3rd, 2001. He was 32. Eric Lindros, also October 5th, 2005.
There's
32.
no way Nolan was less than 32.
No, he was 31.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
I'm
hard
shocked.
miles.
Yeah. He sure did.
Jordy Ben really, like, I honestly, sometimes you need a guy who's like less skilled out there crushing bodies because the good guys are going to handle the puck. The Leafs have enough guys that can handle the puck. They have no guys who can make you feel pain. And so I just thought, like a guy like Luke Schenn makes sense to me in the sense that if you're not giving up much to get him, that is. And he's like a 6'7" guy. If he's just bruising people out there when he's out there, okay.
If I'm the Canucks, I don't trade Luke Schenn. Like, I bring him back next year. He's been their probably second best defenseman. He's been playing on the first line. He looked great. He's been putting up points. I think he has 8 points on the year.
If you're the Canucks, you should look at trading the whole fucking team.
Are we like? So what are we doing? Are we talking the game, the Leafs, or the Canucks?
Well, we're going to talk Leafs and Canucks. We can do the whole game.
Why? What do you want to say?
Well, because I have thoughts on the game, but I have also thoughts on the Canucks.
What are your thoughts on the Canucks?
Ash.
Yeah.
Burn it. Dude, that is the most swaggerless, sad sap bunch of players I've seen in a very long time.
Another multi-goal lead blown against the Leafs.
There was a play. Did you see the play yesterday against the Bruins where Pettersson is in the Bruin zone and he's hoping for... There's a Bruin in front of him, like going towards the Canucks zone, and there's the puck. And Pettersson is expecting Oliver Ekman-Larsson to challenge for the puck so that they can maintain zone time. OEL backs up, and you literally see Pettersson throw up his hands mid back check. So, and in that
that's not good.
In that clip and in that loss to the Leafs, because dude, the Canucks were in the middle of running the Leafs out of the building, and it was about to be the Leafs' maybe most humiliating loss of the season. Because, yes, it's at home. It's on the second half of a back-to-back. Canucks were rested. The psalming ceremony. Adam, you were there.
Yeah.
You were there. Wasn't there a feeling in that building? A vibe of do not lose this fucking game?
I think it was I think it was an inspiring feeling more than anything. I don't think it wasn't do not lose this fucking game. It was we're inspired, and I think you got the sense that the younger people in the building, myself included, who never saw Salming play, but he was always my favorite pre my life Leaf, if that makes any sense.
I get that.
Because I used to watch his games on Leafs TV, right? They used to replay the old 70s games. And you got the sense that the players and the young kids in the crowd finally understood what this guy was, even though he, was playing 50 years ago. So I feel like they and you know what? I would say this. People shit on their first period, and they should. The Leafs were shit in the first period.
Yeah.
But the first 5 minutes, they were not. The first 5 minutes, they came on. I know. And honestly, it was one of those where I think you can't just look at that goal. If you look at the first 5 minutes of that game, the Leafs were all over the Canucks.
They were.
And
up until that goal.
Until that goal. And they had just come off a scoring chance. The Canucks come back, fire it, and you're like, Källgren's got to have that. Right?
Yes.
And so, and I'm not trying to shit on him at all, because I know he's in an awkward spot.
It's a really good tip.
But but I just feel anyway, long story short, that kind of killed them. And then the rest of the period, they were dead in the water. And then the second period, you start to see them pushing again and push. Because again, it's not even Thatcher Demko. It's Spencer Knight. Like, get out there.
Spencer Martin.
Spencer Martin, who's been better than Demko this season.
Demko's been terrible, Steve.
Yeah.
So, I know. No, sorry. The reason I brought up the vibe in the building, because, it's a beautiful moment, and it's a fan base, writing an audible love letter to this player who sincerely deserves it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's emotional, and Sheldon Keefe does this amazing thing with the opening lineup and the ceremonial face-off between two guys who aren't even captain. Yeah.
I was very proud, by the way. I noticed the all-Swedish lineup, and I didn't even have to be told on the broadcast. And I was like, wow, that's good. I'm not usually that observant. So
high five.
I was like, wait a second, those are all Swedes. Hey. And I told my father, I'm like, those are all Swedes. I think Sheldon did that for Salming. He's like, really? I'm
Some
like,
uncle behind you. What? What do you mean? Yeah. He takes off his Leaf jersey to reveal a Keefe out shirt. Anyway, so yes, I understand that. But then once they go down 1-0, you go, shucks. And then once they get their show run and they're down 2-0, then it's okay. Now they can't even get up for this.
It's the Canucks, game. Right?
And it's the Canucks. Anyway, but they come back, they storm back, they really that third period was embarrassing, I thought, for the Canucks. The way the Leafs hemmed them in.
The Matthews goal, that was that.
How so hot. Did Marner get that pass off?
I don't know. So I saw that because I was at one end of the ice. So I had the perfect angle on Matthews because I just saw 34 and I saw him take the shot, and I had I got to see it kiss the top of the net and go. It was just,
you saw how open he was.
Awesome. Yes, it was awesome.
And JT Miller just trying shit on the second goal. Just trying shit. I
don't know what he's doing, man.
He's trying shit, Adam. He's just trying shit.
How's that working out for him?
Oh, my mentions were awful mouthy.
Were they? Why?
Because he scored, and then they were awful quiet.
Yeah.
They were awful quiet.
JT Miller giveth, and JT Miller taketh away.
Yeah, someone's like, oh, watch him score against the Leafs. And I was like, yeah, and be -2. What did he end up in the game?
Okay, so I'll tell you this. The first period was a dud, but I can tell you inside the arena, there was never the feeling that the Leafs were really out of it. No one was upset. No one was booing. There wasn't any jeering. It was just sort of like, I know,
even at 2-0 in the first, because
even at 2-0 in the first,
it felt around the media and the people watching that the Leafs were kind of shit in the bed.
Well,
they were, but it just felt like it didn't feel like they were totally out of it.
Maybe in the building it's different because there's beers and you're having fun. It's Saturday night and it's hockey night in Canada. The vibes are different, but I think those of us watching the game at home saw that the Leafs needed to put in a little bit more effort halfway through that first period.
No question.
Those streams are long.
Yeah.
Right? They're 3 hours, so I can't be at 11 the whole time unless it's game 7, of course. And I wasn't overly upset, certainly animated and yelling and screaming, but there was an element of this could get very bad.
Yeah.
They look awful so far. Let's see how they do. Of course, they come out in the second period, turn it on right away. But sorry, going back to where I started 10 minutes ago, my bad, is the Pettersson body language with OEL
Burns.
In another 5-2 loss at the hands of the Bruins, second half of a back-to-back. They blow their 6th multi-goal lead. 6th. In the previous 2 seasons from Sportsnet stats, they blew 6 multi-goal leads total.
Mm-hmm.
And they've played 15 games, 16?
Yep.
Something like that. So, okay, fire Boudreaux, right? So fire Boudreaux.
Mm-hmm.
They were better on paper than they played at the beginning of last year.
Yep.
But despite the fact that they were better than they played on paper, they were one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. They fired Travis Green, brought in Bruce Boudreaux, and they were about where they should have been for the rest of the way. This season, they're playing worse than they should be on paper. They're one of the most swaggerless teams in the league, and they're one of the worst teams in the league. And they're going to fire the coach so that what? So that what? What's going to change? We talk about, I talked about the Leafs needing a change in the core or a change in the group or something when they were going on, losing games to some of the worst teams in the league. The Canucks have an abundance of evidence that you can't even make the playoffs with this group.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
You can't even look competitive and motivated most nights. You talk about a team that desperately needs a change. They do. Firing Bruce Boudreaux isn't going to do shit. And if it does, it'll be a superficial fix, just like it was last year.
So this is where, when we talked about it on Friday or Thursday last week, because we had the Easter Seals, this is where I lay this at the feet of Jim Rutherford.
Yeah.
And frankly, because you can't really blame it on Patrick Allvin, because Patrick Allvin has to report to Jim. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right? And Jim, to me, is smart enough and has dealt with pain in the ass owners enough. Mm-hmm. Listen, y'all love Mario Lemieux. I can't imagine he's easy to work for. Okay,
I doubt it.
As I told you on Thursday, remember he worked for the Carolina Hurricanes when the owner and his son were suing each other. So that couldn't have been easy either.
Wild.
This strikes me as a president going, "Oh, you like the team the way it is?" Because they did play better at the end of the season last year, and there was a little bit of hope going in there. "Oh, you like the team the way it is? You know what? I'll just leave it." And then it's sort of like, and so you're taking the owner's face and you're rubbing it in it. Okay, so no, you don't trust my judge? Okay, all right, here. No, we'll just leave it. Okay, and I'm going to come out in the media. I'm going to say they're playing like crap. They don't have systems. They don't have heart. Whatever else Jim Rutherford has said on multiple different interviews now. Mm-hmm. He's been on more than one.
Yeah,
he's doing a full media tour to slyly bash his coach.
He's doing a "we're bad" media tour.
Can you imagine Shanny doing that? Like, really?
No, I can't imagine him speaking publicly.
Ever.
Yeah, he does one a year when they lose in the first round.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and going, Jim Rutherford is, to me, and this is my tinfoil hat, he's saying, okay, Francesco Aquilini, you like this team? This is the team you constructed? It's Jim Benning's team, really. But I'll leave it.
Kinda.
I'll leave it for now, and we'll see how well they do. And then when you're tired of this shit, when you're throwing stuff at your TV and you're hating this, then I will start to do my job. But if I get any interference from you, I will point to this record and go, this is how you construct a team. And I will then point you to my 3 Stanley Cup rings and show you how I construct a team.
And we've discussed, like, teammates fight, right? And teammates will disagree. And that'll happen. But we went through the laundry list of times we've seen players fighting amongst each other or arguing amongst each other on the bench. The majority of them are on teams whose reputation revolves around winning. And like even the Leafs, whose reputation is not that, last year had a big fight on the bench. And then what happened? They got better afterward. Like there was something about that Hall-Matthews screaming match that seemed to be the turning point of the season. Now, maybe it was a lot of things regressing. You can't deny that it seemed to be the turning point of the season.
I think here's where we go too far with this, by the way, as an aside, is numbers absolutely matter. Yeah. But so do emotions.
Yes.
And sometimes you have a fight with someone, you have it out, and then you're back on the same page again.
Yeah. Fights can be therapeutic.
Yeah.
But with the Canucks, you see Shen and Miller going at it. They can't wait until they get 20 feet that way and get down the tunnel. And what changed? Nothing changed. It's the worst vibes in the entire National Hockey League.
The room's stale. They got
the room's toxic.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe toxic's better.
It's toxic.
So then, okay. You've got Horvat on an expiring deal, right?
Can't let that guy go.
You
Can't
got
let that guy go and expect to get better.
you got JT Miller who can't play defense, and whomst among us.
Abysmal.
Whomst among us can. What does he make? He's going to make on that extension? $8 million per.
In the neighborhood.
Doesn't start till next year.
Abysmal.
So you got to ask a team to take that contract. You got OEL's terrible contract till 27. You got, I think, the remaining 3 or 4 years of Tyler Myers' contract, who, by the way, is a gigantic human being. I know I've read his hockey card, but he's so big and he does so little. It's amazing. It's amazing. You're like, you see him out there, and his fucking navel is at the crossbar. He's so huge. If you've ever stood next to an NHL net, they go up to your, your nips, right? His is down near his waist, and you're like, what the fuck? This guy is huge.
The only time I sort of cheered against the team that I was cheering for, I still remember it was a game that I think Team Canada ended up winning 16-0 over Team Kazakhstan.
Oh.
But some kid who I think was honest to goodness 5'5" rocked Tyler Myers. Dropped him at the World Juniors. It completely rocked him. You could find it. Look at Tyler Myers Kazakhstan hit. He got completely rocked in a game that Canada won 16-0. Or whatever it was, 12-0.
It just felt like there's a lot of guys doing a whole lot of nothing on the Canucks. And
miserable attitudes.
And and I think, if that Horvat shot off the post goes in, it's a different game, right? In the third?
Besser,
excuse me. And who has 3 or 4 goals this year total. He's just struggling.
Well, he was hurt for a bit of it.
Yeah, it's not his fault. I'm just saying, it's one of those where it's you just want that. The one thing I do want to talk about.
I got the Tyler Myers.
Oh, do you have it?
Yeah.
Do you remember the kid's name?
The Kazakhstani kid?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
That'd be sweet if you did.
His name is Lazarenko. I don't even know his first name. Lazarenko.
Yeah, I remember watching. I saw this at the bar. Here it comes. Woo!
Oh my!
Look at him!
Goodness.
He's the shortest guy on the ice.
Good for him.
Easily the shortest guy on the ice.
Catches him on the wrong side.
That looks like a video game.
Clean. Boom.
That looks like a video game.
Highlight of the game for Kazakhstan.
It unfortunately was.
If you want to see this hit, just Google Myers Kazakhstan World Juniors hit.
I believe that was the year of Jordan Eberle scores.
2009.
Tie game. Yeah. Can you believe it? I can, because Lazarenko hit Tyler Myers, and there's a 14-inch difference between the two of them. That is. Can you please put that screenshot on the?
Also, by the way, it also looks like Kyle Clifford, who's been out since October 24th, will be playing tomorrow. He's in regular sweaters.
Oh, for the Marlies or the Leafs?
Looks like for the Leafs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Robertson and Wayne Simmons in gray as scratch sweaters.
So they called him back up?
What's that?
They called Clifford.
Well, he was injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was Robertson.
So Holmberg and Clifford.
That was one of Robertson's best games of the season.
I know, he was very good. He was very, very good.
They
got
to figure that out. They got to figure that out.
So obviously the Canucks played the Bruins last night. Nothing doing there. I don't even know where you start, right? It's like, oh no, I think the Canucks would want to hang in a Luke Schenn. I understand that point of view, but I feel like it's if it's not nailed down, just get rid of it. You need a whole reset here.
At some point, the Canucks are gonna have to decide: are we in on Bedard or not?
Yeah, you might as well take a chance.
And it's not just Bedard; it's Matvei Michkov, and then who's the other kid? Because there's already noise about. I don't even think he's 2024. I think he might be 2025. Michael Misa.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, this kid looks good.
He does.
Exceptional status. But this year, if you're in lottery position, you're in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jesse, who are the bottom 5 teams in the NHL right now?
Anaheim, Columbus, St. Louis, Vancouver, Ottawa. That's the bottom 5 in that order.
Connor Bedard in Canada. It's looking strong.
I want to ask
Columbus really needs Bedard.
No Werenski all season.
It's going to be terrible.
That team is going to stink.
Riley Stillman on the Vancouver Canucks.
Also not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Well, and Canucks fans are with you on that one. Who's it?
Like,
Jack
what is that?
Rathbone should be in there.
What is that?
I don't know.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I can't even remember that trade.
It's Chicago, right?
He's played for a bunch of teams.
Okay. Well, he's
It also
24.
screws me up because his dad,
Corey
also-
Stillman?
also played for a bunch of teams.
Yes. Corey Stillman was like the best third line center. Like, it was like him and like Andrew Brunette. They were always like flipping around, right?
I would always get him in fantasy draft. I want to say NHL 2001.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I don't know where this is going to go for the Canucks, but it can't stay here unless there's a purpose for it staying here, which I think might be the president saying, let me do my job. Thanks. You hired me to do this. If you're going to, if you want to run this team, this is what it looks like. If you'd like to win cups again or get close again, then you're going to have to let me do my job.
Dude.
That's what I think's going on. That's the only way this makes sense.
They changed the president, they changed the GM, they changed the coach, and nothing changed.
That's right.
Change the players.
That's right.
You have to.
Let's get into You Can Bet That. And then after that, New Jersey Devils fans have an apology.
Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook, presents You Can Bet That with David Bastel. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only.
Listen, I know everybody wants us to talk about it, but we can't talk about it till Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, Toronto and Winnipeg going head-to-head in the Grey Cup and the CFL, just like we all predicted. Woo! But we're not talking about that today, David. We're not going to get into it.
No.
Today, what are we doing? We're doing NHL and we're doing World Cup. Where do you want to start?
You know what? Let's start with the NHL.
Okay.
Now, it's a little bit of a light schedule. There aren't really teams that we particularly care about, but we might care about the Grand Salami. So 4 games, total goals, 24.5. Over under. There's some weak goaltending in some of these games.
So that's 6.
I'm looking at you, Ottawa. I'm looking at you.
So that's about 6 goals per game. Total
That's
goals.
exactly. Yeah.
Is it going to be over or under 6 goals?
All right, who we got, Dave? Who do we got?
So we got Islanders, Ottawa, Carolina, Chicago.
Oh,
Chicago.
okay. That'll be over.
LA, Calgary, and then St. Louis, who really haven't had a very good year. Colorado, who can score plenty of goals. Do you see where I'm leaning?
Yeah. A lot of bad teams.
I'm gonna say Carolina. The Carolina game goes over. The Avalanche game for sure goes over. Goes over 6 goals.
Bad and boring.
Yeah.
That's why I'm tempted to go
We're
under.
adding up, guys. We're adding up every single goal total of every
Right.
single team.
Yeah.
So
And what's the number? What's the total?
24.5 goals.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm going under
Yeah,
too.
LA,
yeah.
LA and Calgary good on defense. Calgary not scoring a whole lot right now, so that's got to be under. In the St. Louis game, the Avs are going to come in there.
Win or
hopefully.
lose, I don't think they're going to score much.
You don't think so?
No.
With the Avs in town?
No. Islanders will be content to beat Ottawa 1-0.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, going under.
Stop it. Stop it.
All right, and what do we have coming up for the World Cup? Because this is really exciting. It starts on Sunday.
Yes, Sunday. It's only the single game on Sunday and kind of a boring one, too. It's the host country versus Ecuador. So Qatar versus Ecuador, but whatever. Let's talk about Canada. Let's talk about Canada. So Canada, Belgium, first game. Belgium, heavy favorites. Belgium actually one of the favorites to finish top 4 overall in the World Cup. We could be seeing them in the final. Some people think they could win the whole thing, which that'd be crazy. But Belgium, big favorites, 1-5-1. Canada, huge underdogs at a 4.75. Tie is a 4.77, which would be almost like a win for Canada if that happened. Over under 2.5 goals is what we're opening up at SIA.
Okay, amazing. All right, there's going to be a lot to this. Oh,
It's
who are you
really
taking?
cool that we have a country to cheer for.
Yeah.
Like, throughout my entire life, I've never been able to cheer for the country that I was born and live in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always had to cheer for like my parents' country or
Yeah.
like whoever my friends are cheering for. It's so fun. Now we have Canada.
Yeah.
I don't care if they win or lose. They're probably going to lose.
They made it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, thank you so much. Obviously, check everything out at sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. And you can follow him on Twitter at Dave Bastel, and Sports Interaction is SIA Sport. Dave, we will see you Friday for the Grey Cup breakdown.
Grey Cup.
And of course, who could miss this match? What a great way to kick off the World Cup. Qatar and Ecuador.
Not bad.
Everybody's fired up about that one. Anyway, we'll see you soon, Dave. This holiday season, I'll be giving thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Everyone loves turkey.
What's he
and
got?
Stuffing, but you'll never, ever go wrong looking like a snack for dessert with the help of Manscaped.
That was good. That was a good one.
They wrote it for me, to be honest with you. The Performance Package 4.0. I've told you about this before, but inside you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear, nose, hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold it all together, just like Manscaped holds you together.
More like 4.0.
Oh, that's not bad.
What are you giving him out of 10 on that?
That's a solid 7 and a half.
That's a solid 7 and a half. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
All right.
It's good. It's good. Holiday things are usually cheesy, and that was a little holiday cheese.
No hygiene routine, and you don't want to smell like we don't want to smell like cheese, so you can use Manscaped's refined body wash to wash yourself down.
It's quite good.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DANGLE. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all. It's Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Balls of holly.
Steve, I know you've been looking forward to this.
I have.
The holidays are almost here, and there is plenty of t-shirt cheer from our sponsor, True Classic Tees.
True classic.
Fellas, we got the perfect gift for you, wish list. True Classic Tees has a gift for you. They're the gift for her, and a great present for any guy in your life. True Classic is on a mission to maximize men's confidence by making them look good. Trust me when I say this is a gift that everybody will appreciate. They'll be looking at you, and they'll be appreciating you. Okay. True Classic has already helped 2 million men look great in their tees, and now you can save big while you do so. Get 25% off True Classic with the exclusive link, trueclassic.com/dangle. And the discount doesn't stop there. You'll save even more with their site-wide sale. Support and show them and check it out, trueclassic.com, promo code dangle.
I'm on the site right now. What does it say at the top?
It says True Classic. Oh,
No, it says your name.
Congratulations. Your discount of 25% off from Steve Dangle will be applied.
Steven Dangle.
Stephen Dangle.
Oh, you're right. It does. Sorry, I don't have my glasses
Also,
on.
the sale's been extended. It's up to 65% off.
Steven, you're on TrueClassic.com.
That doesn't even say that on the script.
That's
Anyway,
so silly.
get 25% off at trueclassic.com/dangle. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off at trueclassic.com/dangle. Santa won't be the only one slaying thanks to True Classic.
That was quite good.
Again, they wrote that for me. One of the most important highlights of the beginning of the season was when the entire New Jersey, Newark Arena chanted "Fire Lindsay" or Lindy before the game, and like literally they had not dropped the puck yet, and "Fire Lindy" chants had kind of come out against Lindy Ruff, and Lindy Ruff looked over at one of his assistant coaches and he said, "Are they saying fire Lindy?
Are they booing me?
Are they booing me?" And last night, this weekend, it was Saturday night. We finally heard the response to that after the Devils win 10 games in a row.
Unreal.
Wow.
"Sorry, Lindy" is the chant.
I've never seen that in my entire life. From Ryan Novozinski.
That's quite
on Twitter.
quite the comeback.
Dude, I've never seen it before, ever. And good on Devils fans for having some humor here. And everything's going great for the Devils, and they're winning games, and they're best team in the league, or looking like one of the best teams in the league. And the one smudge on their season was, I feel like fans do have to make amends after doing something like that.
They were right at the time.
They were right at the time.
They were right.
But they also had
we
no
were talking about
goaltending.
it. No,
The Devils had no goaltending.
Yeah, but I will cop to agreeing with the fans.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, okay, yep, fire the guy. They need to change. And they booed him and were like, that's pretty funny. But when you go and then win 10 straight games and you're one of the best teams in the league, the fan base, while enjoying this windfall of success, need to make amends with the guy you were calling to axe. And they do. And now I feel like they can just go about having a guilt-free season.
Mm-hmm.
As fans, just fuck yeah. Like, someone is going to make a fortune on Sorry Lindy shirts.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a great idea. You should just stand outside and sell them.
Absolutely. Someone's definitely doing it. You're going to make more money than the I Heart BJ's guy outside of Blue Jays games.
Okay, that's a little old, eh? We could stop with that
And it's
anytime.
still a bestseller.
I don't know why. How does that guy continue to make those shirts every year? And somebody new was like, oh, wow, I never thought about that. That's hilarious. I'm going to get it from my uncle.
It's, dude,
Weird.
it's first of all, yuck.
I know.
Second of all,
Well, who do you think they're buying it for?
it's still successful. I bought a shirt outside a game once.
Did you?
I bought a Fuck Brooklyn shirt.
Oh, those were
Those are
good.
Because it just
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yes.
When
Those
Masai
are very
Ujiri
good.
I
said,
had one of
"Fuck
those
Brooklyn."
too. Those are good shirts.
I wish I still had it.
I saw a lot of New Jersey Devil fans, putting a little X next to their name for a playoff spot. I just want you to be wary of the 2016-2017 Philadelphia Flyers that in a December run won 10 games and ended up finishing third last in the Metro, did not make the playoffs.
Wasn't that the season 2 teams won 10 straight?
I think it was
didn't make
3. It was Minnesota also won 10 games. Philly
Yes.
won 10 games. And then I forget the third team. Maybe it was just the 2.
There was a game. Oh, there was a game where 2 teams on double-digit win streaks played against each other.
Yes.
Was
I
it
forget.
Tampa?
I forget the other team. Minnesota did end up making the playoffs. They were one of the better teams that year.
Because I remember the thumbnail advertising the game had, I want to say, Devin Dubnyk on it. Because he was the goalie for the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't know who
were
the
they
other
playing?
team was.
Mhm.
Maybe it was Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Philly. I don't know.
I have a question for you,
I have an answer.
and we're switching gears here for a second.
No.
In what year did Connor McDavid? Not season. I'm asking what year.
Okay.
In what year did Connor McDavid make his NHL debut?
2015.
Desi.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. 2015 is correct.
Yeah.
Gentlemen. He played 40-something games that year, and then he had that broken thing.
Collarbone.
Yeah.
But the McYakpoo line was good.
And they didn't give him the Calder Trophy.
That's right. They gave it to Panarin,
Yeah.
who was older but deserved it.
32.
Now, yeah, he was 32.
46-year-old
Yeah.
Panarin.
Gretzky also didn't win the Calder. You know who did?
He wasn't eligible.
Raymond Bourque.
No, he was absolutely eligible. It was his first season in the NHL.
Oh,
No, I
Gretzky?
thought-
because he
yeah.
played in the WHL
Yeah, he had already played a
right.
professional
Okay.
season, so he was not eligible for the
Bullshit.
Calder.
in North America.
Well, although
Yeah.
Ray did deserve it. Yeah, Ray did pretty good that year.
He was pretty good.
I'm asking you about Connor McDavid, by the way, because the last time Connor McDavid put on a Team Canada jersey, it was 2015.
At the World Juniors?
That's right. And the next time he will put on a Team Canada jersey is 2025 at the earliest. This weekend, we found out that the NHL and the NHLPA
No, it was
Have
the next
delayed.
Olympics.
have delayed the World Cup of Hockey until 2025. The next Olympics is 26.
What? What year are we in?
2022.
It's 4. Oh, yeah. Where's the next Olympics?
Who cares? The NHL's
Italy?
not going.
Oh, it's 24, I think. 24.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Summer is... No, hold on. I'm trying to figure this out because...
COVID screwed everything.
Are the next
Yeah.
Winter Olympics? They're in Paris, France. Next Olympic Games, but I don't even know if they're winter or summer. It doesn't matter. Reality is, it's going to be
There
9
was one
years,
in 2022.
Yeah, there's one this year. The Olympics happened this year.
and they
Did it
were
not?
winter, were they not?
And there's winter, and they're every 4 years. So, it's 26.
So this is
Right.
my point.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to be 10 years between Connor McDavid
Holy
putting on a
shit.
Canadian jersey and putting on another Canadian jersey. It's such a bizarre stat that I did research this weekend and doubted myself when you guys asked me about it a second ago. And this is why.
Wow.
So this is where it gets frustrating, because what should ultimately happen in this sport is you should have the NHL players going to the Olympics, and then 2 years later there should be a World Cup, and then 2 years later there should be an Olympics, and so on and so forth. Now what we're going to have is nothing until 25, when we'll have the World Cup. And who knows if they'll do the Olympics, because Gary will probably be like, well, like, we already did the World Cup. Do we need to do the Olympics?
Hockey will
Oh.
always be number 4 as long as he's in charge.
Also, I have to say
Always.
that's around the time that I believe the CBA is due to expire. Just throwing that out there.
So hockey will just be held hostage again
Yep.
until this guy. What is enough money? Can Jeff Bezos decide he likes hockey enough? Gary, here's $25 million. Oh my God. Wow. What do you want me to do for that $25 million? Nothing.
Just not
I want
work.
you to go the fuck away. I want you to go the fuck away. If you ever go on the radio or TV or a podcast or Twitter, you got to give me 30.
Well, Gary actually,
I'm putting that in a contract.
if he got the 25, he probably could afford the 30 back because he makes
fuck it, then 50.
He makes $8
Jeff
million bucks a
Bezos.
year.
No, go the fuck away. Go away. Even your good work gets ruined by you. Dude. Like, okay, so I know this one is a little bit more complicated, obviously, because it was the NHLPA being like, well, there's kind of a lot of turmoil in the world right now, right? But what happened in 2016? They had two countries that weren't even countries, but one of them made the gold medal game, and the other one was the most fun team at the tournament.
Yeah.
And that was one where I had to wear it and go, you know what? I was wrong.
The finals game was a dud, though.
It sure was.
Not the second. The second one was
Second
it ended
one was
on,
cool.
but it would have because it was best 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah, the best 2 out of 3 sucked.
So the second
You didn't
game,
need
even
that.
though it was really eventful and it was great, if they would have just come back and played another one, Team Canada would have won anyways.
Yeah, you didn't need the 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
That whatever. Not everything's going to be perfect. But it was in 2016, and I remember at the time, I said, all you need to do for this thing to be successful is hold it consistently. There was a World Cup in 1996. There was a World Cup in 2004 before you held the sport hostage for an entire calendar year unnecessarily. And then there wasn't another one for 12 years until 2016. And now, best case scenario, we get it when?
25.
February
9!
2025.
February, too. Because remember, the last one was before the season even started.
Yep.
So a lot of those guys went into camp in August, played all of September hockey, which was fucking awesome. That was awesome.
I enjoyed it.
And then we got a full season after that. And, I remember we had Kipper on at that time. We're like, are these guys going to be tired? He's like, they're like 22. They're going to be fine. So here's what Emily Kaplan on ESPN.com had to say about it. Unfortunately, so this is the NHL and the Players Union in a joint statement. In the current environment, it's not feasible. We continue to plan for the next World Cup of Hockey, hopefully February 2025. They've been meeting for the past year to look at ways that they could break the schedule and host the World Cup of Hockey in Feb 24. They were going to hold games in Europe and North America. Both sides didn't feel like they had the logistics sorted out to host the tournament.
When are we done?
I have the full statement here. The first sentence of the full statement from the NHL and the NHLPA, I think, contains one of the biggest slaps in the face to fans.
Unfortunately, in the current environment, it is not feasible.
No. The sentence before. So the full statement reads: over the last year, the NHL and the NHLPA have been working on plans to conduct the next World Cup of Hockey.
What do you do all day?
The premier international best-on-best hockey tournament.
Go fuck
That's
yourself.
such a lie.
Yeah.
If it was the premier best-on-best international hockey tournament, it wouldn't be negotiable as to whether to hold it or not. It's not. It doesn't exist. It takes place once a decade, as you just outlined.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The
to call
last
it
time
that.
you held it, there were 2 countries that weren't countries, and the previous time you held it, Mario Lemieux was in the lineup.
It's not even international best on best.
2002 was the one previously?
4.
2004.
Yeah.
Stop! The NHL loves nothing more than holding on to things longer than they need to, and longer than it works.
I'm
Stop!
What if it was just like, we're gonna host the World Cup kind of whenever we feel like it? Like the World Cup's coming up in soccer, it's coming up this Sunday, you know? What
Yeah.
if they're just like, you know what? We'll figure it out in time. We'll do it every couple of years. No, it's on a schedule and it happens and we all know it and there's a long history of it. Just stick to a thing and get it done no matter what. Don't make it negotiable.
The one thing the NHL does better than the World Cup of Soccer is they don't hold it in fucking Qatar.
right. Well, there's a whole reason behind that.
Yeah.
But
Not
I
yet.
think, not yet. And the thing
Not
is,
yet.
yo, man, here's what bugs
That's
me.
true. Yeah, you never know. Like,
You have a job at the PA and NHL head office, right? I understand they're two most of the time two warring sides.
Cool. Good for the sport. Good. Very helpful.
You have a job to get this done. My question is, why is neither side held accountable when it doesn't?
Because they're both completely useless.
Like the owners should, if you're an owner listening to this, and you're probably not, but if one of the 32 NHL owners,
yeah, you don't listen to anyone around you. Why the fuck would you listen to us?
You should be pissed about this because you're losing out on money. The World Cup generates a ton of money and a ton of interest, and it boosts the sport the rest of the year. That 15-16 season started early and got audience numbers up and made for huge ratings gains. That 15-16 year was a huge year in the NHL. It did really, really well.
That was 16-17.
No,
the World Cup?
Oh, yeah, it was 16-17.
16-17.
Yeah. It was a huge year.
Our first look at Austin Matthews.
Mm-hmm. Before he'd even played in the NHL.
And I remember being like, okay, like, I'm happy he's on the team, but why the fuck is he on the team? He was the only guy who hadn't played in the NHL.
Yeah, and they put him on the first line with McDavid.
And it was sick. Yeah. And we rode that the entire year.
And so, there's obviously huge interest in this. It's the only way to grow the game internationally. And I know the owners don't think that they should care about that, but they should absolutely care about that. If nothing else, it'll sell your jersey internationally. I just wonder at the PA, who have been fumbling and bumbling for a long, long time now.
Genuinely useless.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. And then you've got the NHL, who we already are on record of all the time. Yeah. Slow, incompetent, don't never get anything done. My question is, don't you guys want to make some fucking money? Isn't that the point here? The players should want to make some money.
Smart.
The owner should want to make some money. The head office should want to make some money. Like, I don't understand. If there's money involved to be made, then you do everything you can as a business, because that's what the business benefits from making money, does it not?
Yeah.
Then you do everything you can. And when you can't make that money, like if I'm a CEO of a company and I see a golden opportunity to make a ton of money in a short amount of time and my team can't get it done, I'm hauling my team in and going, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, dude, get it done. What else do you do?
You know from my Twitter, I'm a pro-union guy. NHLPA union dues are theft.
They don't do anything.
It's theft.
Yeah. They've lost the last two lockouts too. Like it's useless.
Genuinely useless organization. Listen, as long as these guys are in charge, you and me and you watching at home,
and Iggy,
listening, and Iggy
and Leo
and Leo and the mailman, and you were there,
kids.
And the Tin Man too. All of you cheer for a niche sport.
But it's such a great game. It's such a fucking great game.
Yeah, no, niche. Rugby's great. Lacrosse is great.
Niche in the context of we're not handball.
No, niche in terms of no one watches it or pays attention or cares.
That's not true.
It compared to
you're comparing it to the three
basketball
biggest.
And why the fuck is it?
Biggest.
The NHL was in that conversation.
It was, and it fell off hard.
Why?
Because of
Gary Bettman disappeared from national and international discourse for giant swaths of time repeatedly over the last 3 decades. 94 lockout, 2004 lockout, 2013 lockout. When's the next one, Adam?
25.
And
it's not going to be.
That won't be pretty. Have a fucking World Cup? No. And they've had 3 World Cups since 1996. Well, actually, since 1996, they've had 2. And the last time they were at the Olympics was 2014. It's a niche sport because of the people in charge. You're going to talk about how you grew up loving it, and I have the passion for it. And yeah, you do. You do. The people in charge of it don't give a fuck.
You got to remember, Gary Bettman did not grow up watching hockey. In fact, he came from the NBA. Like Gary didn't know anything about the actual sport when he came in. He just knew that he promised the owners he could get them a salary cap. That's how he got the job. Look it up. And I think you have to understand that when a person comes in like that, and you see this, actually, you guys should watch this. We were talking about it off air. This FIFA documentary they got on Netflix. A lot of those guys knew nothing about the game. It's all about how you can make money off of it, right? And that's it. The shocking part for me is at least the FIFA guys, as corrupt as they were, made money off of it.
I don't know.
I'm not willing to give
At
them
least they went out and made money. These guys did it just punting on making money.
All it took was an abhorrent amount of corruption.
Human rights violations, but we made money.
I'm excusing that. You guys know what I'm talking about.
No. He's talking about pre-Qatar.
Nothing got in the way. No. I'm not even talking about. They were corrupt from the fucking 70s, man. They were bad. That organization was bad for 50 years. Bad. But what I'm saying is, at least they never were like, well, we're holding off on a World Cup because we just don't want to make the money. If you base it just down to that, just on fucking personal greed, the NHL can't even get that right.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It's just, the bar is so low, it's worse. And
regularly hold a tournament.
Yes.
And regularly be on the biggest stages possible.
And okay, if it's such a hard thing, well, we want to hold games all across Europe and North America. Don't do that. Limit the scope. You know what? World Cup of Hockey, New York. You got 3 arenas within an hour of each other. 3 NHL-sized arenas. Good, play it there. And you know what? And the next one, we'll do it in California. World Cup of Hockey, California, 2030. We'll have it in Anaheim, we'll have it in LA, and we'll have it in San Jose. They're all within 45 minutes flight of each other. No problem. What are you doing? Oh, we're going to have some of these games are going to be in Europe, and then some of them are going to be in... What the fuck are you doing?
Well, even the World Juniors, we're going to do it in Toronto and Montreal.
Just do it in Toronto or Montreal.
Those are far as fuck.
I guess they need a couple arenas. I think that might be
it. Toronto doesn't have any of those.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Listen,
they need to have the World Juniors in Toronto so that they can sell 2,000 tickets in Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah.
Needs to be in an NHL arena.
No. Listen. All I want is for the sport to succeed, and as long as the people in the NHLPA and the NHL are in charge, it won't.
Right. Have you guys paid...
we don't want our guys going to the Olympics. They might get hurt. You fucking dorks. You don't pay attention to other sports in the world. Half the 2010 Chicago Blackhawks were at the Olympics, including most of their core. They won anyway. No, but fuck. Okay, fine. Middling sport then. Yeah, mediocrity. There it is. I'm just so sick of it. Let me cheer for the goddamn sport. You giant bunch of dweebs. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you guys been watching crypto's not really a topic we cover much on this show, but it affects a lot of things. Have you seen the FTX story?
Can you explain that to me? Because I've seen...
So it's an exchange platform, and it was recently valued
at... Wealthsimple?
Not totally. Listen, I don't fully understand it, but it is like FTX, from my understanding, was a cryptocurrency.
You can buy and sell crypto.
Yes.
Got it.
Recently valued at $32 billion.
What?
Yes. Last Friday, they filed for bankruptcy because the exchange and the coin collapsed.
What? Now, is that Bitcoin or is that all of them?
Oh, that was just FTX. Yeah. So they
FTX
were a Bahamas-based cryptocurrency exchange, and it was founded in 2019. It had over 1 million users as of this February. And bankruptcy proceedings began on the 11th of November, on Friday. So basically what happened was there's some corruption, and obviously money was funneled to places where it perhaps shouldn't have been. But I wanted to talk about its effect on sports because I wanted you to have a look at this. So Sportico put together the FTX sports sponsorship partners that are going to be left hanging because of this collapse. Okay.
By left hanging, and again, they won't be getting paid.
That's right, because I don't know anything about crypto, to be honest. So to be honest, I'm giving you the baseline, but I don't give a shit really what it is. I care about the naming rights for arenas and the other things that they have got. So FTX has sports partnerships with Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors, MLB, Tom Brady, Stephen Curry, Naomi Osaka, Shaquille O'Neal, Shohei Ohtani, UC Berkeley, Mercedes-AMG F1 team, Riot Games, and Team Solo Mid. I don't know what that is. So here's what Sportico put together. So for the Miami Heat play in FTX Arena.
Like Scotiabank Arena.
Yes.
Holy shit.
They bought 20 years of naming rights.
Whoa.
So they had the naming rights until...
Did they pay up front?
No, sorry, 19 years. They had it until 2039. Now, the FTX Arena naming rights deal...
Leo will be legal drinking age.
That's right. It is due to expire.
Holy shit.
And by the way, the contract ends in year 19, but can be extended 18 months to June 30th, 2040. So this deal is fascinating because part of it was front loaded. So
Smart.
what we understand is it was signed last year, so they had to pay $14 million up front.
Was it in money?
In money.
Okay.
And that's there's a payment to the county, like Miami-Dade County, and then there's the payment to the team. So there's $14 million total, and then $5.5 million this year, and then $5.5 million in 2023. So essentially, of the whatever deal it ended up to be, about $20 million a year averaged out. It was a $135 million deal. Miami-Dade and the Miami Heat got a total of $20 million, and now they have to find a new arena sponsor.
Oh wow! So they pulled the naming.
Well,
rights.
they're going to have to because they're in bankruptcy, so you have to pull all that shit back, right? Now, I don't know enough about bankruptcy law. Sorry. So I'm assuming they've made the payments up front. They made the $14 million payment up front, and I believe at the start of this year they made the $5.5 million payment up front. So that payment's been made, but as of the next year, that arena doesn't have a name. So now,
and also Florida doesn't have laws.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? The MLB, I don't know if you know this. The MLB, if you're upset about jersey patches, the MLB sells their umpire uniform patches.
They have XCX on the umpire.
Kidding.
FTX on every umpire. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen did a commercial for FTX. Believe it or not. I'm just going to pull this up. This is crazy.
And they said, we want a divorce.
That's right. So, not long ago, and I'm reading directly from Sportico's article, FTX is one of the world's largest crypto startups, valued at $32 billion, or roughly the value of every National League baseball team combined. Its founder was a 32-year-old MIT grad. Brady and Gisele Bündchen starred in a $20 million ad blitz last season for football in exchange for equity in the company. But while the campaign sought to introduce FTX to the nation, sports execs were already well familiar with the brand. 19-year deal, $135 million. So Brady loses out on his equity shake, whatever that is. Shohei Ohtani also did some work for FTX, and I'm not sure if that was in Asia or it was in North America, but all his compensation was paid in equity and cryptocurrencies.
Oh, that sucks.
UC Berkeley, they had the stadium rights for UC Berkeley.
That's huge.
That again will be gone. Mercedes this weekend had to rush to cover up or take off all the patches that said FTX on them.
Oh.
And Riot Games logo on display during the League Championship Series, which if you're into e-gaming, you know how big that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then naming rights to Team Solomon. So like you're talking about this is very interesting because like there's the crypto.com arena in LA,
formerly
right?
Staples Center.
Yeah.
That's right. Like these are things that, you know, obviously these things happen in any down market. You're going to see this in any recession. And by the way, anybody who says we're not in a recession right now, come on. But what's so fascinating here is crypto 6 months ago was like, this is the second coming. And now all of these have to be pulled.
Yeah, we don't usually see like Air Canada collapse and have to give back the naming rights to Air Canada Center,
right?
You know, but with crypto, it's been wild.
Yeah, yep. So they said during the .com crash, which is at the end of the 90s, Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville, PSI Net Stadium in Baltimore had to be renamed. More recently, Sports Authority Field in Chesapeake and Chesapeake Energy Arena didn't survive their contracts. And basically they said people have gone through this before and are smart about how they're structuring these partnerships. They're going to do into these new categories with eyes wide open. So that's
there is a
fascinating.
precedent from the .com boom.
There is.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
I thought
very
that was
interesting.
Kind of neat. And what'll be fascinating is like there's no chance that Miami-Dade County and the Miami Heat are going to get all the money out of this deal. But what I'm fascinated to see is, okay, So you lose you sign in an up market. 2021 was ballistic, right? Crazy real estate, crazy stock market, everything was good. And even though it sort of felt like the calm before the storm, which is what we're in now, to me, you could make the argument that the arena naming rights for Miami might be worth less this year because interest rates are higher, money is worth less, people don't have as much money in their marketing budget to spend. So they could end up signing a deal that's worth less money because this exchange just fell apart. So that's where you lose, right? You're not going to have a hard time finding people that want to have the arena rights named. It's
that
just
was my first thought.
How much will they be willing to pay though?
Right. Wow.
And it's
wow.
I admit there's a lot of it that's beyond my knowledge,
but it's a big bubbling
huge.
Sports story.
I didn't realize FTX. I'd never heard of it, to be honest with you, and I've watched F1 all year.
Yeah, they wasted a lot of money on advertising. I'd never heard of them.
Well, they didn't buy hockey. I wonder why.
Oh well, there you go.
Because
it's niche.
But I mean, it's something to watch. There's a lot of cryptos on there, a lot of .com stuff's on there. And you're seeing Amazon laying off, Meta laying off, Shopify's laying off people. I think Spotify did too. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this sort of affects the sports world going forward. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up.
Jesus H.
It's crazy.
Do you subscribe to Sportico?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't subscribe. I just read it.
It wouldn't let me put the article on the screen without a Sportico subscription. So I was just wondering if that was a subscription.
They don't like you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you.
Maybe don't refresh your article that you've had. Have you had it like on a tab, or did you just click it?
No, I had it this morning.
They figured out your IP address and they sent it.
It says this story is now only available to subscribers.
Maybe I subscribed to Sportico when I didn't know.
Or maybe
you look into that.
You have like a free trial. Or
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
click refresh.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the story.
Let's see if I got it.
You gotta see.
You still got it?
I'm not even logged in.
But scroll.
No, yeah. Let's see.
Wow.
I can't get it.
Weird.
Yeah, they locked it.
Get wrecked, Jesse Blake. Get wrecked.
The James Myrtle. They pulled it.
Hey. Hey. Can I aggressively change topics?
Please.
So you mentioned that we're in a recession.
Yep.
And one of the things that goes down during a recession is donations.
Yeah.
Which sucks because the need for it goes up. Which is why I was delighted and pleasantly surprised at the unbelievable amount of donations we got for Easter.
Amazing.
Absolutely unbelievable. Rachel's Raiders raised over $80,000. Which, so if I'm not mistaken, I know I've gone through these numbers before and I'm trying to do it off the top of my head and I might be wrong. But Easter Seals camps. So again, starting from the beginning, Easter Seals is a charity that helps out kids with physical disabilities. And they have these inclusive camps. It's like any other summer camp, except it's accessible and inclusive for kids with physical disabilities. My family went to them twice when I was younger. It was me, my parents, and Rachel. We're there. You ever try to take a wheelchair to the beach? Fucking sucks. But at these camps, they made that possible and they fed us and we played all sorts of games and they had like a little casino night for all the parents and all that really fun stuff. It cost about $250 a day to send people to this camp, or to send one person to this camp. $80,000, the $80,000 that Rachel's Raiders raised, provides about 325 days.
Amazing.
At these Easter Seals camps.
Wow.
As a tournament, we raised, I don't have
I got it right here.
Oh, you do? What is it?
$505,977.69. Nice.
That's ballistic, guys. Absolutely ballistic.
The total Dangle individual contribution over the years thus far.
Do you have that?
I do.
How?
Because it's in the email from Bob at lindrosclassic.com.
When did he send
Mr.
that?
Clark?
55 minutes ago.
Oh.
And your total so far, and this is, and I say your as in you who are watching, listening, donating, the total that you have helped Steve donate is $283,047.97. And that's in the last 4 or 5 years.
Fucking A.
That's a crazy, over $250,000.
Yeah, man.
That is crazy money. Thank you so much. And by the way, next year,
283?
283,000 total.
So 283,000. Let's assume the number is 250 a day. That is 1,132 days
Of camp.
If you divide that by 4, it's 283 days at camp for a family of 4. You guys are doing wonderful, wonderful work. Wheelchairs are unbelievably expensive. AFOs are ridiculously expensive. Customized equipment are ridiculously expensive. So when you donate, that's what it's going towards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you help do. So, I brought up the recession part. The last couple of years for fundraising has been really difficult, and the numbers have been down compared to what they were before. So the fact we were able to get as high as we did, holy shit.
Yeah.
You guys are rock stars. Yeah. Unreal. I can't thank you enough.
So congratulations. And also let's talk about what happened during the games.
Steve,
Yes.
game number 1.
Tell
on
Jesse.
Is there a video of it?
No, I don't think so. I don't.
Good.
They should record all the games. Like they should just set up a camera just so we can have these moments on film.
Well, there's a service that does that for beer league games. I can't remember what it's called.
That's sick.
There's off. Oh man, I forget what it's called.
Somebody will.
I know. I'll get inundated with it. But no, you're right. We should have it.
Next year, let's set that up just so for these moments when the puck's behind the net and next to the net, really, it's down low and somebody feeds Steve right in the slot, and there's maybe 2 bodies in front of you, but you have the puck on your stick.
2. Shut up. 3, 4.
I don't know.
Both rosters were in front of me.
Okay, everybody's kind of crowding the net.
Yeah.
And Steve is sitting in the slot.
But the
with
goalie
puck
is down and
on
out.
his stick and a wide open cage.
And I got the shot off.
The
I didn't
goalie's
fan
at the
on it.
other end. I don't even know where he was. And you got the shot off, and it hit a skate.
It hit
went to the corner.
leg, and I was so sad.
You had a goal right there.
I had a goal.
You blew it.
And they wanted to get me one too.
Yep.
And they set me up for a few more chances. I'm pretty sure I got a secondary assist.
How's it feel?
What, to miss?
Yeah. Remember my hockey tournament? Remember we were playing on our stream and I also was right in front of the net.
That's a little different.
Okay, now let me
I just want to ask.
Let me specify it was not a teammate who blocked the shot. it was definitely one of their guys, but oh man, was I sad.
You're still over.
I'm still 0 for, except for the penalty shot, which
doesn't really count.
Yeah.
You're 0 for at a 5-on-5 goal at the Easter Seals tournament. It's never been scored.
Damn it.
In 4 years? Well, 2020.
Didn't you score in a penalty shot?
Yeah, it didn't.
20.
That counts.
No. 5-on-5 goal. The penalty shots are wacky too.
Well, and it was a charity thing.
Yeah.
Someone took a slap shot at the end of a game, and slap shots aren't allowed. So we got a penalty shot, and they sent me out. We lost that game. We were losing 8-2, and I brought it to 8-3.
It was let's give Steve a penalty shot at the end of this game. Penalty shot.
And
it doesn't
I scored
count.
by shooting the puck to not where I meant to.
You need a 5-on-5 goal in live play.
I was so... Oh, man.
and that was your chance.
Myrtle gave me a between the legs pass. I got close on that one. I had a couple... listen, my bar is very low. And there are a few where I'm like, I covered that guy well. Mm-hmm. I blocked a shot, and I meant to.
Nice.
It wasn't like I got in front of it. It's like, I attacked the point and blocked a shot. And I didn't flamingo.
That's good.
Got a secondary assist. Made a couple... I had a good couple stick plays.
Yeah,
won a couple face-offs.
You're really good at trying to get your stick in the way just so the defender has to do something. You don't allow...
I force plays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If there's somebody there sitting with the puck, you go at them and you force them to make a play, which is good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, it's good. You're playing within your skill set.
Yeah, that's what I thought I did. And I, did all the great plug things that plugs do. It was where you go, all right, who are our 2 best forwards? All right, here. And I shift over on the bench and I go, okay, I play with our 2 best guys. Here we go.
Well, it was
sometimes I was out there with Myrtle and that was fine.
Jesse was there. Jesse didn't play because of an injury. I didn't play because my equipment is up at my dad's place, which is 4 hours away. So
far.
Next year we're both in.
Are you mad at me for wearing a Bruins jersey?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, Steve wore Ray Bork's jersey.
Yeah.
He's a legend. Who cares?
So Ray Bork wore it for the first 2 games, and in the third game, He goes, Dangle, you want to wear my jersey? And when Ray Bourque himself offers you his jersey, I got news for you. I don't care how much trauma the Bruins have given me. You wear it. And if it makes any Leaf fans feel better, I made it look awful.
There it is.
I got to start wearing shoulder pads.
Why?
Why? Because I look terrible skating around, and I look worse with my no shoulders.
Adam, what do you think?
I think he looks like the legend himself. I put Steve in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Our goalie was...
It looks like you're wearing
unreal.
the Justin Bieber jersey from the back.
It does.
So I'm not that worried.
The Justin Bieber jersey is a lot like a Bruins jersey.
Yeah, it is. So
You've never noticed that?
No.
As far as I'm concerned, you wore the Bieber jersey.
And Jesse, take a look, though, at the other team.
Yeah.
So I have a theory as to why I didn't score in the third game.
Why is that?
The other team wore black, and so did I.
So you're passing it to the wrong guys?
No, I was fine.
Nobody can find you.
Yeah, my teammates are like, it's really hard to make plays to you because we can't find you.
Who was it? Wendell Clark, when he played you guys, he was for a couple shifts, he was wearing his Leafs jersey, and you guys are Leafs blue.
We played the first two games, we played Mike Krushelnyski and Wendell Clark. So we were blue, and the other team had their best player in blue both games.
Yeah, because the legends wear their jerseys.
Why can't the legends just wear the jersey?
So here's the fun part. For the first game against Mike Krushelnyski's team, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't wearing my glasses on the ice, so I didn't know that.
Right.
They gave their best non-Mike Krushelnyski player his jersey, and he skated fast enough that I was like, damn, that's Mike Krushelnyski's flying out there. And then I ran into a guy in a blue in a green jersey. Like we almost collided really hard, but he stopped on a dime like an NHL player or something. And he got close enough that I was able to see, oh, that's Mike Krushelnyski. Then who the fuck is that guy? So they just had a bunch of really good players.
Eventually, I think Wendell, he switched into one of the team jerseys.
That was also confusing, is he switched mid-game, but it doesn't take very long to be like, oh, that one's Wendell.
Yeah. But I think like if you're playing the Leafs, you guys have your Leafs jersey and you're playing a Leaf, they shouldn't wear the same color jersey.
I know.
It's too difficult.
It's a charity tournament. Figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah. Come on,
Just
Steve. Call up Eric and say, hey, Eric, you know what you should do?
Ray Bourque was playing in this tournament he was on skates for the second time since COVID began.
Oh, wow.
And he's as old as Ray Bourque is. So he's like, what, mid-50s?
Ray Bourque is as old as Ray Bourque?
He's as old as Ray Bourque is. After the
his first game was in like 79, so that shows you how old he was.
After his first game in the tournament, he has the worst case of snake bite I've ever seen. Skate bite I've ever seen. He looks like Kurt Schilling. Like he's bleeding through his sock. And like literally someone handed him a spare cloth they had. He's cutting it with scissors. This is Ray Bourque. He's cutting it with scissors and like wrapping it around his ankle. And he's like, all right, yeah, I'll get out there.
And I'm like, I sprained my ankle a week and a half ago. I can't play.
Yeah. And he skates the way ice cream tastes. Like, unbelievable, this guy. And thank God he did it. Like, the alumni will be like, okay, I'm on a really good team, so I'm just going to hang back. Mm-hmm. Or I'm on Steve's team, so I'm going to do everything. The amount of times I was on the left wing and Ray Bourque skated right behind me and decided I'm left wing now was stellar, and no one could stop him. No one could stop him. No one could take the puck off him. I think one person took the puck off him all day, and it was Wendell Clark. He was unreal.
I think in those moments, Ray made the right decision.
He did.
So. Yeah,
he did. And he'd pass me, and I'd keep my stick on the ice in case the drop pass was coming. It never did.
Did you see in game one because Eric Lindros came by game one and he joined us? He joined your team briefly for like half the third period or whatever, maybe something like that, the second or whatever. Did you see when he was in your own zone? So he got the puck from the goalie and he did a spinorama backhand pass tape to the other blue line just to show off.
So that was
the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You weren't there for when I talked about my perspective of that pass because I was on the ice for that pass. So Lindros, he's in our own end and I'm looking back at our own end and I see him do that flippy pass and he just hurls it down the ice. And so I turn around to go deep because I was like, oh, he's dumping it. And then while my back was turned, I hear the very distinct sound of a puck connecting with a stick and our bench losing their shit.
Yeah.
And I went, I guess Brady has the puck. And I turn around and our teammate Brady has the puck. And I'm like, I guess, okay, stick down. And like, I hustle towards the net and nothing happened. But unbelievable what these guys are able to do.
Erik Karlsson pass, except he did it on the backhand while turning around.
Yeah. Casually.
It was insane. And casually.
The things these guys who retired ages ago are still able to do, barely trying, are nothing short of astounding.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely astounding. The strength they have on their skates, the effortlessness in which they do absolutely everything. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. Ray Bourque's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the experience to just have him on your team, and there was between games there was a bit of a lull. We had just gotten our ass kicked. It was after the second game, and he goes, "You guys want to hear some Cup stories?" And we all just went, like the whole room leans in, and he just starts telling Stanley Cup stories.
Amazing.
So
unreal.
Because you fundraise the most money every year, and you get your little trophy,
Yes.
and you get the first overall pick of the Legends. Why did you go with Ray Bourque this year, and who else was on the table for you?
So there are a few guys who do it every year. Adam Graves was there. Michael Krasniewski was there. John LeClaire also there. But there were a couple guys who I don't know if they've ever been there. Ron Duguay was available. Rangers fans, who I want to say is currently dating Sarah Palin. But
What?
I'm not totally. He either is or was. I know.
Need to go there.
I know, that was crazy.
Very strange. No, I'm just. It's
He's
relevant.
stating a fact. I was shocked by that, by the way. You told me that on Friday. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael Renberg, Leaf legend, right?
Yeah.
And also, who else did he play for?
No, Leaf.
Coyotes, I think. And so the whole Legion of Doom was there.
Mhm.
And Ray Bourque. And I don't know, you have an opportunity to draft Ray Bourque, you fucking do it. So Lindros used to be the first pick every year. But someone came up with a very clever idea, because there have been years where I didn't get Lindros, and there's sort of I want to play with Lindros, though. It's the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic. So what he does is he plays like a period or a period and a half with everyone, right? So he goes around. So there was a brief moment in time where we had Lindros and Bourque
Pretty cool.
at the same time.
And you won that game.
Yeah. Funny that we sure did.
Okay.
Yeah, and we lost the game we played against Lindros. Funny that.
Oh, yeah.
They were
crazy.
way better than us, but we were like holding the fort. We were barely hanging on. Our goalie was stopping everything. Lindros joined them. Forget it. We
Credit to
lost
your
6-2.
team. Credit to your team as well in that first game, because you were playing with like 7 guys to start the game.
I think it was 9. We were.
It was barely 2 lines. It definitely wasn't 2 lines.
Yeah, we lost. We had a tough few days leading up to the tournament, right? Because we lost you. I want to say 2 or 3 guys were late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm referencing. Like
Yeah.
once it was like midway, or like when the second period kind of started, your entire team showed up.
Yeah, one guy was me. There's Mikey Stevens playing on one knee. One of our best players forgot their puffer. So it was.
Oh, man, I would have given them mine.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of it. I didn't even.
Okay.
Oh well. Yeah, he's still.
And then
he played great.
And then you got Ian, who needs to learn his position.
Man, he really.
Ian
doesn't care.
is the Tyson Berry of rec hockey, man. He's a rover.
He's just up and down.
Yeah. Anyway,
a lot of skill.
it was a great tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott! You know what saved us in the first game? Scott Wheeler played one game with us. Before driving 5 hours to Plymouth to go cover whatever tournament was in Plymouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, I want to be part of the tournament. I think I can only play one game though. So he played with us, showered, and was in the car.
I didn't even realize he was out there. Him and Mikey, I didn't realize they were out there the first time. And then I was like, oh, there's Mike Stevens sitting there.
Yeah, he got a goal. Like Wheeler was a great contributor, and then he's like, all right, bye.
Yeah. No, Wheeler's great. I had no idea Wheeler had such wheels.
Anyway, great tournament. Another great year. Thank you so much for your donations. We really, really appreciate it. Let's do the press conference.
Oh, I was hitting the button. I thought we were done.
No, we're doing the press conference. Come on now.
Okay.
With the bustling holiday season just around the corner, it's a perfect time to plan ahead with Factor, a ready-to-eat meal delivery service. They shop, they prep, they cook, and they deliver to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals during the holidays, minus the hassle, plus 34 meals per week, including gourmet plus, keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and 36 plus weekly add-ons. You'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. Choosing food. So listen, the holidays are crazy. You might want to look into this. And again, Factor is cheaper than dining out. Plus the money you save goes to holiday fun and some you time too. And you could use that, right?
I like you time.
Do you like you time? What do you do with you time?
Oh, it's just play Red Dead.
I'm glad that nothing of Steve's U time has changed since 2018 when it came out.
Nope.
Head to go.factor75.com/SDP60 and use the code SDP60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code SDP60 at go.factor75.com/SDP60 to get 60% off your first box.
60% is a lot of percent.
It's a lot of percent.
It's a lot.
These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for the right team, for your team, faster and for free, which is pretty great. Now, if we were looking for a Steve Dangle, what do we do to find a Steve Dangle?
Type in big weirdo on your search.
So all you have to do is add your job and a purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you are hiring. Okay. No, nothing about what you said.
Oh.
Also, there's simple tools like screening questions. It makes it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills for you. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster and for free. This is great. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/SDP. That's linkedin.com/SDP to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Want to bet? You can do it at Sports Interaction. It's Canada's Sportsbook. Every hockey, football, and basketball game at your fingertips. And at the end of the week, World Cup, baby. Ooh. It's going to be fun. Bet pregame, live and play, or one of the many prop bets made for Canadians by Canadians. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now to see all that sports betting has to offer. Go to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Got it.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Well,
Hall of Fame week. Last week, I guess, Hall of Fame weekend, Hall of Fame day. Jesse Blake Sports Report did a special episode today. It's out right now. It's the active NHL players right now. If they retired at the end of the season, they would get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I built a definitive list. You can check that out. It's on your favorite podcast app. It's on youtube.com/SDPN.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's some...
Phil Kessel and no one else.
Yeah, Phil Kessel for sure. There's some. I had him in one of my tiers where I think he doesn't get in if he retires at the end of the year, but there's still room for him to get in.
Have you seen the guy? Oh, I wish I remembered his name. Who made like an algorithm. He's like, here's the point system for how you get into the Hall of Fame, and like individual trophies are accounted for and championships are accounted for.
I did see that. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Kessel, I think, is borderline right now.
He's right on that kind of line.
There's one of the players who era adjusted. He said should be in based on like accolades and finishing top 5 and Hart voting multiple times, but he's not in the Hall. Is John LeClair? I should have asked him about it. Shoot.
You should have.
Oh, one thing I forgot. And I hope someone got this on video from the tournament. My bad. Is they gave me the trophy for being the top fundraiser, and as soon as I got it, I gave it to Ray Bork.
I like
because you have to.
I like that.
And when we drafted him, I said 21 years after 22 years, Raymond Bork, and he came down. He loves it. I know he does. He does. He thought it was very funny.
I don't doubt it.
You should.
All right, I got a fun Stump the Steve / Adam Wilde gets to help him out.
All right.
no.
This is from Lim J. He.
Okay.
Good name.
That was a good one.
Fun Stump the Steve question. In the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs, only 7 numbers have never been worn. Can Steve, with the help of Adam, identify those 7 numbers?
Oh, shit. Fuck. Because someone wore... I want to say Philip Kral wore 82?
Bob Wren wore 59.
Go through all the numbers, you guys.
No, I know.
All right, let's see.
Strategy.
So does
All right,
zero count? Because 0 is a number.
No, I don't think so.
0 is a number.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 0. Even though players back in the early 30s, 20s, and 30s did wear 0. Like goalies especially. Yeah.
Andrew Raycroft.
I'm going to say,
He
the
wore a
Leafs
number.
played in the 20s and 30s. So I would say if someone were to wear 0, they would wear it as a Leaf.
Wade Belak wore a number.
3? I think he wore 2 and 3. You suck.
No,
This is a fucking hard question, man. What the fuck? Like, I wanted a good question, not like, now we got to go through all these. We're already bad at numbers.
1 to 99. Let's go.
95.
That's your first guess?
Yes.
Tell him whether he's right or wrong, though.
On 95?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are incorrect. There's
Who
been a
wore it?
95. I'll figure that out, actually.
Damn.
Like,
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I know the question's kind of fun, but the answers are kind of boring. Can we
That's true.
just go through the numbers, Jesse? Because
No.
I don't want to sit here with another 5 minutes of this.
No, fuck
I
that.
can't. I can't make it through this.
Yes, you
It would degrade the podcast.
No.
A current Leaf has number 95. He's the
idiots.
first one ever.
Holmberg? No.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Crawl?
Oh, no. Vibecouver had 96. Who the fuck is 95?
No.
A current Leaf?
Who is it?
Mikhail Abramov.
What?
Hey,
That's bullshit. He never wore it in an NHL
He's never
game.
worn in an NHL game.
According to the hockey reference, he counts.
You know what? Fuck this question. It's
No,
bullshit.
fuck it. No, shenanigans.
Question's bullshit.
Immediately
Shenanigans.
He
Has to play
So,
in an NHL game.
87 then?
87.
Komarov wore it for the Marlies, but he never wore it for the Leafs. He was 47 with
No, he's Marley. 87.
So is Abramov.
87 has
Bullshit
never been worn.
Oh, there you go.
Well, okay,
87 's a
87.
number.
So there's one. I'm amazed I've gotten that far.
You got one.
84.
Oh no, Grabowski wore 84.
Oh my fucking god.
Jesse, just give us the numbers, please.
yeah,
No, you got to guess.
No, Jesse, no.
all right,
This-
one.
no.
1, 31 guys have worn it. 2, 29.
No, don't go through every number,
Jesse,
Jesse.
I hate you.
3,
I hate this,
32
Jesse.
players.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Punishing me
4.
for wanting a press conference.
Adam and I are gonna climb a ladder
Tell
and kick your
me
ass.
what the numbers that didn't get worn.
Okay, the numbers that have never been worn are 68,
Okay.
69,
Yeah, nice.
Bummer.
75,
Hmm?
79, 86, 87, and 90.
90.
What number was McGillney?
89.
Mm-hmm. 2 players ever. John Tavares was the first player to ever wear 91.
And Philip Kral was the first player to wear 82.
Victor Mete, first player to ever wear 98. I like those. First player to wear 97, Joe Thornton.
So 2 players wore a number for the first time ever this season.
Yeah.
Michael Bunting, first ever 58. Joseph Woll, first ever 60.
Honestly,
No,
if you were
Carlton the Bear.
if you got to be a
Carlton the Bear wears 60.
He's never laced up skates.
if you got to be a Leaf, it'd be fun to pick a jersey number that no one's ever worn before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only guy.
ever.
69. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Where's 69?
All right.
Good question. Terrible execution from Jesse.
I don't know how other way I was supposed to execute it.
Good. You're supposed to do it good.
This is from Myth 26. Do you think the Coyotes are making the playoffs?
What did I say? What did I fucking say? I said,
Where are they
watch,
right
they're
now?
going to be in a playoff spot by Christmas.
Where are they right
And now it's November 14th. And where are they, Jesse?
They're not in a playoff spot.
No, go to wild card. You got to buy division. Go to wild card.
They're
Do-do-do-do.
not in a playoff spot. What are you talking about? They're 5th in the wild card.
That's new information. Fuck. You mean
Current information?
No, they're 3 points back.
Honestly, I want them to. I want them to make it. I think it'll be fun.
They have a winning record in their last 10.
Like, how is that not fun if they make it?
Unreal.
So whether they will or not, I don't know. But yeah.
When do we start having the Karel Vejmelka heart vote conversation?
Never.
Screw you, he should. And that defenseman should be nominated for the Calder. I don't even remember his name.
Here's a good
He's
one.
a Paisan, though.
Python3504 asks a question that you half addressed in your LFR. Why won't Keith play Petruzzelli? A lot of people were upset at them starting Källgren back-to-back games because people don't start back-to-back games anymore. And you have the chance to give Petruzzelli his first ever start in Hockey Night in Canada versus Vancouver on a Saturday. It's a good little moment for the
Because
kid,
it's a horrible place to start a goalie.
Yeah, I would...
Hockey Night in Canada, are you nuts? No way. Too much pressure.
Listen, as a guy who makes a living telling the Leafs they don't know what they're doing, but I, who never played hockey growing up, do.
And who can't finish when he's got a puck on a stick.
No,
that's right.
What a fucking failure. I can't believe it.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Every now and then, I'll just be like,
Next
I'll
year.
just audibly react. Yeah, that's what I tell myself every goddamn year.
All right, quick.
On this one, though, I'm going to hazard a guess the Leafs knew more than we did. Källgren was healthy and ready to go. Wasn't battling an injury, wasn't tired. If I remember correctly, even though the Leafs lost to the Penguins, he had a relatively light workload. I want to say he faced less than 25 shots. And, let's just see what the kid's got. It's a fair argument.
Yeah.
Källgren is a not ideal goalie to have as your starter right now. Let's see what Keith Petruzzelli can do. I don't have a problem with the logic. I don't. If the Leafs went with Petruzzelli, I wouldn't have been like, oh, stupid fucking team. But I can remember a time in recent memory where it was like, well, let's just see what the kid's got. And he's got great numbers in the AHL. And I want to say he was 6-0 as well, just like Keith Petruzzelli is. It was Kasimir Kaskisuo. And he plays his first NHL game, and the Leafs absolutely feed him to the wolves. Mm-hmm. It was such a cool story. I want to say it was a Hockey Night in Canada game as well. They show his parents in the stands, how happy they must be. They lose 7-1, I think. 7-2. They just feed
the
him
Leafs
to the
didn't
wolves.
feel like playing defense that night, too, if I remember correctly.
No, they put up such a bad performance in front of them that it's the game that got Babcock fired. Everyone remembers the Vegas game.
Nick Petan.
Yeah, Nick Petan getting robbed by Marc-Andre Fleury, Ilya Mikheyev's priceless reaction. The decision, though, I have heard, was made after that loss. Like, what a pathetic, sad sack hunk of shit loss. Now, I would say the Leafs are positioned a little different right now than they were then. But I don't think Keith Petruzzelli should be playing NHL games unless he absolutely has to. And the number one argument in terms of playing him was, what if Källgren gets hurt? So I'll hear that. But whatever, they won. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear anyone admit they were wrong when he won.
Can a 25-year-old not play back-to-back nights? Come on now.
I think.
Come on.
Whatever, they won.
Yeah, don't.
Typical Leaf fans getting mad after a win. Sorry. I love you, Leafs Nation.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.